Good evening, and welcome back to my series on Kingdom Under Fire 2. Now let's start this shit off right. Hit it, Johnny! So, a dirty little elf greets you as you boot up the game, hop into character selection. Whoa, what the fuck? So in this series, you always chose an existing character with an existing story before. There were humans, dwarves, a fucking ogre, vampires, dark elves, great variety. Now, you have to make a character for this one, and you can play as an elf, a little bitch, or a fucking man. So, I rolled Berserker, because if the dulcet Tom Waits-esque tones hitting your eardrums now don't make it clear, I'm the kind of man who wears short frilly skirts. Wait, this is the wrong script. I mean enjoys handling less of a sword, and more of a raw heap of iron. And this game just starts. Sure, there's an intro cutscene that I skipped, but then bam, you're in a war, waged between the Enkoblossian demons and the remaining allied forces of this world. And if you aren't familiar with this series, you will have no idea what is going on other than a fairly bog-standard tutorial mission from 2005, combined with a frankly impressive number of soldiers and enemies on screen, even for today's standards. On initial impressions, it reminded me of the old Lord of the Rings action games for the PS2. You can't control your troops at first, so you're just hack and slashing away at your enemies in stark comparison to the original Xbox games, which only allowed you to take control of your hero unit after you were engaged in melee combat. This game is very different from the old ones, and really the tutorial is not entirely impressive. But if you waited over a decade to ever view it, tears might be in your eyes. Chapter 1. Gameplay. You stride right into a sea of blades, taking on hundreds of foes in glorious old-school hack-and-slash combat, instantly followed by a bog-standard MMO running around the world map killing spiders that are piddling about. Wait, what the fuck? I mean, it's beautiful. The scenery is beautiful, the world is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but fuck you, man. Like, come on now. I honestly found the core conflict that may have caused this game to fail, right when I first played it. Kingdom Under Fire 2's missions are amazing. Grand-scale clashes of armies, and it's all tied together with a basic, old-school MMO overworld. And all I can ask is why? Because the makers or the money counters thought it was a good idea, obviously. And being a South Korean company developing this game over a decade ago, MMOs were hot, and hell, they still are overseas. But no one's ever really dethroned old World of Warcraft here in the States, so MMOs have a hard time in America. And that statement stood true when I wrote the script 5 years ago, and it still stands, which is really a statement in and of itself. MMOs have stagnated hard in the States. They don't bring anything to the table gameplay-wise. But Asian MMOs have exploded into their own beast. Excuse me, take again. But Asian MMOs have exploded into their own beast, so question is, why does the MMO overworld in this game feel so incredibly dated? It's so boring and basic compared to the large-scale combat levels that it's honestly confusing. The game would be better off with the MMO aspects just completely removed and replaced with a level select menu written in Comic Sans and MS Paint. Legitimate. It reminds me of what little World of Warcraft I did play 20 fucking years ago. Sometime about before the werewolf showed up. Like, it's nice to explore the world, sure, but there's no way I could be engaged in fighting singular units of enemies I regularly fight thousands of. There's just no weight in the combat in the overworld. Its only use is learning the surprisingly depthful combo strings this game has and all their branches. It took me forever, but I was under a time crunch. Point is, besides this pretty footage I can use to bridge chapters of the script with, and a good view to smoke a bowl to, these overworlds just really detracted from the game for me. I miss them now in a weird way, because the entire game is inaccessible, and I never got to scour its every corner and learn its every secret, you know? But the core of this game was diluted by the MMO overworld nonsense, in my opinion. And playing Kingdom Under Fire 2, even back then, it just felt so dated. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was rushing through the overworld as fast as I could, only pausing at this kid faking an old man voice to dodge the draft.
Your hard work will be rewarded one day. I better finish what I was doing. When is this going to end?
So I may have missed some things. And admittedly, it was cool how the massive dwarven airship that crashes mid-game has a physical presence at your camp. And generally, the world is full of absolutely beautiful vistas. And frankly, if there was a better game holding this all together, the overworld would make everything feel more connected. As you travel across the massive overworld on foot in real time, it has a real sense of scale and wonder to the environments and the characters that inhabit them. Games like Morrowind and State of Decay do a great job of having large areas full of content to explore, with little secrets hidden in every corner. Unfortunately, it hurts me to say this, but Kingdom Under Fire 2 is just not like them at all. There is seemingly nothing of interest in the overworld at all. Except maybe this minotaur on top of this cliff you can see from a great distance. It's kinda cool to look down on all the giant flat icelands you just traversed through. But it's just so fucking boring. My experience was to spawn my horse, sprint from task giver to task giver, take their tasks, complete their tasks, and ride onward, desperately seeking the next real mission. The landscapes were often breathtaking, sometimes lackluster, and unfinished once or twice. And it's a true shame how there's so much fucking around between the good parts of the game. It just wastes so much of your time before you get to the good parts, which the older I get is just more and more of a black mark against your game. Few adults have 80 or more hours to pour into something just to see the good parts. The missions at first were a bit simpler and smaller than the old games, but I could feel them building to something. And then roughly 10 hours in, I came to the first climax mission. And fuck me, did I climax. But that, my friend, is a story for another day. Join me next time, and together we can both experience our first climax mission together.